The Lives of Medieval Saints. The Lives of Medieval Saints, a mural in Hindi Bhavan, Shantiniketan was created by Binoy Bihari Mukherjee around the eve of Indian independence from colonial rule. During 1946 to 47, the mural employed the technique of fresco bruno and covered almost 23 meters of the entire upper half of the tree wall of the room. Mukherjee skillfully reminds us of the sympathetic and tolerant tradition of Indian life as found in the teaching of great Bhakti poets like Ramanuja, Kabir, Tulsidas, Surdas and others. Despite his poor eyesight, the artist sketched directly on the wall without compositional sketch. The lives of medieval saints was painted in a modern style, where each figure is created with bare minimum line. At the same time, each figure related with its neighbor by the way of rhythmic network of line. In some way, the mural reminds of us of a painted woven tapestry, a profession that many of these saints belong to. He was one of the earliest artists in modern India to realize potential of a mural to become public art. Mother Teresa. This painting by Ahmed Hussain of a saintly figure, Mother Teresa, belonged to the 1980s. It is painted in a style typically of this artist, who created a new language of modern Indian art. The figure of the faceless mother appears several times, each time holding a baby with a lot of attention given to the hand. The center figure of the seated mother has a grown up man lying on her lap horizontally. This speaks of the artist's familiarity with European art, especially the famous sculpture of Indian Renaissance master Michelangelo Pieta. On the other hand, a flat shape used to depict the scenes are modern. They appear like collage of paper cutout. The artist is not interested in showing us the life of Mother Teresa realistically but uses bare suggestion. We as a viewer have to follow the clue left by the artist to make sense of the story. It is kneeling figure of the woman on one side that gives us a hint that story about healing and nursing the helpless and unfolding in India. Haldi Grinder. Amrita Shergill painted Haldi Grinder in the 1940s. This was a time when she was seeking inspiration from India's idyllic rural scene. Such a scene depicting Indian women busy in traditional activity of grinding dry turmeric had to be painted in Indian style. It is not surprised that she used bright saturated pigments to paint this work. Given her training in modern art in Europe, she was quick to see parallel between miniature tradition of North India and modern art of Paul Gauguin, an artist she admired. This is evident in the way she has placed bright color patches close to each other and created shape of figure by color contrast and not outline. Such a style of painting reminds us of, as for instance, the Basoli painting from North India. The women and trees are painted as flat shape. Shergi is not interested in creating any depth in the landscape and prefer a semi-abstract pattern as a modern artist. Fairy Tales from Purvapalli. This is a painting using water and oil color on acrylic sheet and was created by K.G. Subramanian in 1986. This is the work of the prolific writer, scholar, teacher, and art historian who draw inspiration from his familiarity with different art traditions from India and the world. The title referred to his home in Purvapalli, a locality in Shantiniketan from where his imagination seemed to be traveling all around the world. His imaginary landscape consists of strange world in which birds, animal rub shoulder with humans. There are unusual trees that grow feathers in a places of leaves. This style of painting, sketchy and color, are applied in a quick brush stroke. The palette remains earthy, ochre green and brown. The male and female figure on top remind us an urban folk art like the Kaligarh painting that was popular in colonial Calcutta in the late 19th century. Again, as in traditional miniature painting, figures are arranged on the top of other rather than behind each other, creating a flat space sign of modern art. Whirlpool. This was a print made by Indian celebrating printmaker Krishna Reddy in 1963. It is a captivating composition created out of various shades of blue. Each color blend in the other to create a powerful web of design. It is the result of a new technique in printmaking that he developed along with the well-known printmaker Stanley William Hayter. In the famous studio called Atelier 17, this method came to be known as viscosity printing, in which different colors are applied on the same metal printing plate. Each color is mixed with linseed oil in varied concentration. Each color is mixed with linseed oil in varied concentration to ensure that colors do not run into each other. The print subject matter dealing with watercolor applique capture the technique based on understanding how water and oil behave with each other. This celebrated print is in collection of Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, USA. Children. This is a graphic print on paper done with monochromatic etching with the Aquant made by Somnath Hore 1921 2006 and 1958. The experience of the Bengal famine of 1943 left a lasting impression on him. His early sketches and drawing were spot and life drawing of hapless victim of the famine, suffering and dying peasants, seek the infirmary, destitute and portrait of men, women, children and animals. This line drawing, which followed the representation contour and tonal devices, were seldom adopted. In this etching, images of children were taken from the experience of the famine of 1943, which was etched in his memory. This is a close-knit composition of five standing figures, having no background perspective. This is a close-knit composition where five standing figures having no background perspective or surrounding situation, as the figures are talking to themselves. The figures are linear, each with a skeletal torso of a huge malaria spleen and ribcage for the thorax, supporting a huge skull with a small face. The whole body is seen resting on two stick-like legs. Strong definitional line of straight linear gesture which edge each rib of the thorax and each cheekbone appear as deep gashing wounds. The bone structure just beneath the skin render the effect of malnutrition on the people. It creates narrative quality in the picture without taking recourse to placing the figure in a situation of supporting visual data. Following reductionist and simplification methods, these children represent the most vulnerable section of the society. Some other artworks include peasant meeting wounded animal, the child mother with the child mother with child and mourner and unclad beggar family. Devi. This is an etching on a paper made by Jyoti Bhatt 1934 in 1970. He studied painting, printmaking, and photography and was inspired by his mentor K.G. Subramanian. He carved out an art language based on He carved out an art language based on folk tradition, popular practice. He brings together many visual elements into the a composite narrative. His work occupied tenuous balance between space, tradition, and other modernity, where the past as a vibrant repository of form is translated into dynamic of the contemporary. In this print, pictorial image of Devi is recast and recontextualized with linear drawing of the frontal face of a woman, folk motif and patterns. The portrait of Devi is central place as an iconic image. The two-dimensionality of word and motif around the portrait express tantric philosophy, evoking the power of self-evolution and self-involutions, seeing reality as an intertwining dynamics and state the static principle of Shakti, but also made artwork like Kalva, Kalpavruksha, self-portrait, forgotten monument, Sita, parrots, still life with two lamps, scattered image under the warm sky, Tirthankara, etc. of walls. This is an etching made from zinc plate and printed on paper, made by Anupam Sood in 1882. She had studied printmaking at the Slade School of Fine Art, University College London in the early 1970s. When she returned to India, she was drawn to its everyday reality, apart from her deep interest in social problems faced by people belonging to marginalized community of the society. She was keen to understand them artistically. Notice how she created an interesting form of a woman by hollowing out of the face. The absence of face gives it a brooding and sad expression. The painting depicts the figure of a lonely woman seated on the pavements before a dilapidated walls. In the foreground, we only get a glimpse of the lower part of a poor man sleeping on the ground, contrasting with the clothed women and add to the sadness of the print. Rural South Indian man woman. This is etching print on paper made by Lakshman Gao, 1940. 2017 Lakshman Gao, a fine artsman and a printmaker, studied mural paintings and printmaking at the MS University, Baroda, and was influenced by his teacher K.J. Subramanian experiment with the narrative mode and figuration of visual tradition, classical folk and popular culture. He tries to erase sharp demarcation between major and minor art, thus giving it linguistic breadth. This has helped him straddle various mediums such as glass, painting, terracotta, and bronze. In this etching, human figures are shown with trees in the background. It is based on his childhood memoir, Immersed in Nature. The work is a combination of highly ornate contour, realistically depiction of peasant, and a gentle stylization that give a touch of purple or puppet to figure represented in the print. This print is line based and colored. Some of other artwork are woman, man, landscape of Turkey, untitled, Xi'an, China, etc. Triumph of Flavor. This is an open air, large scale sculpture in bronze made by Devi Prasad Roy Chaudhary 1899 to 1975. It was installed at Marina Beach, Chennai on the eve of Republic Day 1959. It shows four men trying to move a rock, rendering the importance and contribution of human labor in nation building. Unconquerable men are wrestling with the nature, dogged, indeterminate indeterminately and powerfully. It is an image of labor against the element of nature, a well known romantic subject of the 19th century. Chaudhary loved to dwell on the strong musculature of his workers, revealing their bones, veins, flesh, etc. He portrayed the extreme physical effort of losing a massive immovable rock. Human figure installed in a way that creates curiosity in us as a viewer. It attracts the viewers to see it from all sides. The image of group labor is placed on a high pedestal, thereby replacing the notation of portrait of kings or British dignitaries. Santal family. This is an open air large scale sculpture created by Ram Kinka Baij in 1937. It is made out of metal armature and cement mixed with pebble and placed in the compound of Kala Bhavan, Santiniketan, Indian First National Art School. It shows a scene of Santal man carrying his children in double basket joined by a pole, and his wife and dog walking alongside. Perhaps speak of the family migrating from one religion to another, carrying on their frugal possessions. This must be an everyday scene for the artist living amid a rural landscape. However, he gave it a monumental status. The sculpture is made in the ground, which means that we can see it from all sides. It is placed on a low pedestal, making us feel as if we are part of the same space. The significance of the work is that it is regarded as the first public modernist sculpture in India. We do not need to go to museum to see it as it is placed outside Kala Bhavan. The material of which it is made of it is important. The artist has avoided traditional medium like marble, wood or stone and has preferred cement, the symbol of modernization. Christ Unheard. This is sculpture in bronze made by Abhana Sehgal in 1958. Although the artist only uses abstraction in which three figures are streaks, legs, and shown in flat with a mixed pleins, yet it is easy to understand them as a family, husband, wife, and child. They are shown flinging their arms about and crying out for help in vain. Throughout the medium of sculpture, their helplessness expressed by the hand gesture is turned into permanent shape. It is possible for us to read this work as a socialist, whereby the artist pay homage to millions of destitute families in need of help, whose cries fall on deaf ears. None other than socialist poet Mulk Anand wrote, moving about this work, which now is in the collection of National Gallery of Modern Art, New Delhi. Ganeshan. This is a sculpture in oxidized copper made by P.V. Janikaram 1970 and in the collection of NGMA Delhi. He has used sheet of copper to create pictorial sculpture as a freestanding form and ornamented their surface with linear element. Metal sheets are beaten into concave plane on which are welded linear detail. These linear elements work as facial feature and decorative motifs to suggest religious icon inviting intimate contemplation. Janakiram is influenced by the ancient temple sculpture of South India. The image of Ganesha crafted frontally lended an important indigenous character of a cave and temple sculpture. In this sculpture, Ganesha is playing veena. Veena music is a music instrument. Data on the sculpture and technical blending of material nevertheless reveal this meticulous craftsmanship. He also experimented with the open endless quality of indigenous workmanships. Ganesha revealed his understanding of traditional imagery. He has elaborated linear detail in the overall form. His sculpture is conceived in terms of linear silhouette instead of emphasize on three-dimensionality despite it Its volume, rhythms, and growths are incorporated through lyrical stylization, but also an amalgamation of folks and traditional craftsmanship. Vanashri. This artwork was created by Madeline Mukherjee in 1994. She uses an unusual material to make this sculpture. She uses hair fibers on a medium that she experimented with from the early 1970s. Going by the intricate way she has knotted together and woven a complex shape out of jute fiber, it seemed to be the result of years of handling the new material for many years. Her work of this kind were dismissed as craft. Only recently her fiber works had attracted a lot of attention for originality and boldness of imagination. In this work, entitled Vanashri or Goddess of the Woods, she turned this ordinary material into monumental form. If you carefully look at Frig's body, you can notice that it has a face with an inward expression, protruding lips, and above all, powerful presence of natural divinity.